this stuff. I think he's doing a great job. I support him 100%. Because
Yeah.
you gotta get behind something. People are and I like what he's doing.
He's the man behind Heart of Gold. Everyone calls him the godfather of grunge. This is the untold story of Neil Young, the voice of a generation, the soul of folk rock, and a defiant spirit, who's been shaking up the music world for over 6 decades, with over 40 albums, 2 Grammy Awards, and a 2-time induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Today, this legend lives a relaxed and luxurious life, with a collection of vintage cars and rare guitars. Upcoming few minutes, we're delving deeper into the world of Neil Young and understanding the passion, purpose, and jaw-dropping luxury of his life. But to understand the man, we have to start where it all began, a sleepy little town called Omemee. Early life and background. Neil Young's real name is Neil Percival Young. He was born on November 12, 1945, in Toronto, Canada. His father, Scott Young, was a famous sports writer, and mother Edna Racy Young was a spirited woman, with roots in the American Revolutionaries. But Neil's story took shape in the small town of Omemee, Ontario. Imagine a quiet, introspective village of 700 people, where young Neil, a quiet, introspective kid, spent his days fishing with his dog Skipper and dreaming bigger than the small town's limits. But this life was not always easy. At just 5 years old, Neil faced a battle that could have broken him. He contracted polio during the last major outbreak in Ontario, leaving him partially paralyzed. He had to learn to walk again, hold on to furniture for balance, ask his brother Bob, "I'm not dead, am I?" Still, with the encouragement of his mother, Racy, he found solace in music. By age 10, a plastic guitar ignited a spark inside him, and soon he was spending hours a day, immersed in rock, country, and R&B. Where his brother Bob was a friendly, funny man, Neil was a loner, pouring his heart into songs. Selling eggs from his backyard chickens kept him busy, but music was his escape. But as his dreams grew, so did the challenges at home, changes that would push Neil toward a new chapter. Family and relationships. Neil Young's music tells stories of love and loss, but it was his family that shaped the man behind the tunes. Born to renowned Canadian author Scott Young and Edna Racy Young, Neil grew up with his older brother Bob. When his parents separated in 1960, 15-year-old Neil moved with Racy to Winnipeg, where his passionate nature and belief in music kept him grounded. She bought him his first real guitar, a moment that changed everything. But love hasn't always been easy for Neil. His first marriage was to Susanna Acevedo in 1968, and they divorced after just 2 years. Then in the 1970s, he began a relationship with actress Carrie Snodgrass, the mother of his son Zeke, born in 1972, but they separated in 1975. His second marriage was to Peggy Young, and together they had 2 children, a son, Ben Young, and a daughter, Amber Jean Young. This relationship also fizzled out, and they divorced in 2014. He then fell in love again with actress Daryl Hannah, and they secretly married each other in 2018. Amid the highs and lows of his personal life, it was clear that Neil's family and relationships added fuel to his fire, shaping his emotional depth and inspiring much of his music. Yet it was on stage where Neil's passion found its voice, a spark that would ignite his legendary career. Career breakthrough and iconic moments. Neil Young's music was always his soul's outlet, but in 1966, it became his rocket to fame. At the age of 21, he joined forces with Stephen Stills in Los Angeles, forming Buffalo Springfield. Their anthem, For What It's Worth, captured a generation's unrest, making Neil a star until the band broke up in 1968. Undeterred, Neil ventured into the world of solo music, releasing his first self-titled album, Neil Young, in 1968, but it was his 1969 album, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, with Crazy Horse That Turned Heads. Tracks like Cinnamon Girl and Down by the Riverside showcased his signature blend of introspective lyrics and raw electric energy. Then came 1970, a game-changing year. Together with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, he rocked Woodstock and co-created a folk rock masterpiece, Deja Vu. His solo album, After the Gold Rush, that same year stunned critics, but it was the #1 hit, Heart of Gold, from Harvest, released in 1972. That made him a household name. However, Neil didn't chase fame, rejecting pop stardom and focusing on his raw artistry. His challenge earned him 2 inductions into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the title Godfather of Grunge. From Winnipeg clubs to the Grammy Awards, Neil's voice reshaped rock history. But with such a huge legacy, how much wealth did this rebel rocker earn? Net worth and incomes. Neil Young's legacy isn't just limited to music, it's also a financial powerhouse. In 2025, his estimated net worth is $200 million, built on 6 decades of grit and genius. His fortune began with Buffalo Springfield's hits in the 60s, but it was 1972's Harvest that made him a gold mine, selling more than 75 million records worldwide. And his tours are also a source of income for him. His 2025 Love Earth Tour, headlining shows at Glastonbury, headlining festivals like BST Hyde Park in 2025, and performances at venues like Camden's 25,000-seat arenas, where he earns millions of dollars a show. On top of all that, there's also the money coming in from streaming platforms like Spotify, movies, and licensing deals for commercials, earning more than $2 million annually. Then there's 2021, when Neil made a lot of money. He sold half of his 1180 song catalog to Hypnosis for $150 million, and through which they keep earning money from royalties. In addition to music, he has also invested in property, which we will talk about later. Along with all this, Neil has also tried his hand at ventures like co-owning the Pono music player and Lionel model trains, which keep him pocketing millions of dollars. From a Winnipeg dreamer to a shrewd investor, Neil's wealth proves you can strike gold while staying true to your art. But what does a rock legend do with all that money? Let's step into Neil's world of passion and joy. Luxury lifestyle and hobbies. Neil Young's $200 million fortune can buy any luxury, but the rock legend lives his life his way. Forget designer suits, Neil's style is pure grunge. He's often seen in flannel shirts, worn-in jeans, and leather jackets that scream rebellion. His real splurge is a jaw-dropping collection of vintage guitars, like his 1953 Gibson Les Paul Old Black, and a 2,800-square-foot barn full of model trains with over 750 feet of track he built himself. Yes, the godfather of grunge is a train fanatic, and Neil often spends hours in his private studio surrounded by analog equipment and cherishes them. And Neil has an interest in high-quality sounds, which led him to the project called Pono Music, dedicated to providing high-resolution audio experiences, because he believes the true sound comes from raw, unrefined emotions. And his farm life is simple too. He's often seen with a dog or two. That keeps him grounded. Whether tinkering with vintage guitars or championing the sweet sound of vinyl, Neil's passions are as pure as his songs. And speaking of the farm, let's take a tour of the place this legend calls home. Real estate properties. Neil Young's homes are as famous as his music. They are private retreats that reflect his unpretentious free spirit. His crown jewel is Broken Arrow Ranch in La Honda, California, a 1,500-acre retreat, purchased in 1970 for $350,000. It is now worth more than $20 million. Nestled in the Santa Cruz Hills and framed by redwood, the home houses a state-of-the-art recording studio, where albums like Harvest Moon were born. It's also where Neil records music and holds jam sessions with Crazy Horse, where he built a 2,800-square-foot train barn that reflects Neil's love of nature and his unique passions. And Neil Young owned a 90-acre retreat property near Telluride, Colorado, known as Studio in the Clouds. It was where he recorded his album Colorado with Crazy Horse. The property is located in the San Juan Mountains and features a recording studio, solar power, and walking trails. The property was a testament to his ability to find luxury and simplicity. Apart from this, Neil Young also owned a beachfront property in Kailua Kona, Hawaii. The property is spread across 3 acres and is worth $24.5 million. It features ocean views that inspired his soulful songs. Neil Young later sold this property to the former CEO of Men's Warehouse for $20 million. Then Neil and his wife Daryl Hannah purchased a beautiful and modern home in Malibu for $3.6 million in 2015 that had a panoramic view of the Pacific Ocean. Unfortunately, the property was destroyed in the Woolsey fire in 2018, further fueling Neil's environmental activism. Each property is a piece of his heart, and his real estate legacy reminds us that true luxury lies in authenticity and harmony with the earth. And with homes like these, it's no surprise his garage holds treasures just as bold. Cars and vehicles collections. Neil Young's garage is a shrine to classic Americana, packed with vintage rides that echo his rebel spirit. The show's star is his LincVolt, a 1959 Lincoln Continental, transformed into a hybrid electric masterpiece. This 19-foot-tall, 6,000-pound beauty is worth $500,000. It is Neil's environmental dream, a blend of retro cool and eco-tech. That was featured in his 2008 film CSNY, Deja Vu. Damaged by a fire in 2010, Neil rebuilt it more stronger. Then there's his 1948 Buick Roadmaster, which has sexy curves and costs $100,000. A 1950s Cadillac Fleetwood, which oozes vintage luxury and reflects his nostalgia for the open road. A 1969 Pontiac Firebird, a muscle car classic, exudes rock star chic, perfect for going to a concert. For his Greendale tour, he brought out a 1953 Pontiac hearse, nicknamed Mort, because who else but Neil would tour in a $50,000 hearse. It was his hearse during his early career. Neil's collection, valued at more than $1 million, also includes other classic vehicles like Cadillacs and Chevrolets, which are parked at his Broken Arrow Ranch. Apart from cars, Neil is also passionate about two-wheelers and powerful rides. His vintage Harley-Davidson motorcycles, including a 1960s Panhead, allow him to roam the open roads with the wind blowing. A Jeep Wrangler, perfect for traversing the rough roads of his farm, completes his collection, which is a perfect blend of practicality and adventure. These aren't just vehicles, they're pieces of Neil's soul built for freedom. But beyond the garage, what's keeping this legend rocking in 2025? Current life and future plans. At 79, Neil Young is still a force of nature. In 2025, he'll hit stages from Sweden to Los Angeles with his new band, the Chrome Hearts, on the Love Earth World Tour, where he'll perform a mix of classics like Harvest Moon as well as new and passionate songs. His album Talkin to the Trees released in June, which includes singles like Big Change and a scathing jab at Elon Musk, proves he's still got fire left in him. Neil surprised fans with an impassioned solo show in the rain at a local school in Lakefield, Ontario, and also lent his voice to Al Jardine's Beach Boys EP. When he's not on tour, he spends time with his wife Daryl Hannah at Telluride or Broken Arrow Ranch, or perhaps with his children, Zeke, Ben, and Amber. His Neil Young archives continues to grow, streaming his life's work in clear audio. Here's a surprise. He debuted a rare full band, Ambulance Blues, this year, which has remained untouched since 2019. From activism to raw rock, Neil is living proof that age is just a number. From a polio-stricken kid to a global icon, Neil Young's journey is pure legendary, and this rock icon still shaking stages in 2025 is nothing short of epic. So let's keep the vibe alive. What's the one Neil Young song that hits you hardest? Heart of Gold for its soul, Rockin' in the Free World for its fire, or something else? Drop your pick in the comments section, and the most heartfelt answer gets a shout out in our next video. If Neil's story got you hooked, you'll love diving into Bob Dylan's Wild Ride, another legend who redefined music. Click the video on your screen to explore Dylan's world, from Greenwich Village to global fame. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more stories of music's greatest rebels. Thanks for joining us. See you in the next one.